The constitutions are trust agreements. Constitutions bind government officials, not the people. Contractual obligations. Constitutions are trust agreements. They are contracts between we the people and government officials. These trust agreements, originally established by the Founding Fathers, binds all government officials through their signed oath of office declarations. The constitutions are expressed obligatory agreements by which elected officials must adhere. The constitutions do not restrict the people. They restrict the actions of government officials. I have a previous video on the oaths of office, and I will put a link in the description below. So if you have not watched that, I would encourage you to go and watch that video as well. What is a trust? It's a right of property, real or personal, held by one party for the benefit of another. A confidence reposed, which means held in confidence, in one person, who is termed trustee for the benefit of another, who is called the Trustee trust, respecting property, which is held by the trustee for the benefit of the Trustee trust. Any arrangement whereby property is transferred with intention that it be administered by trustee for another's benefit. A fiduciary relation with respect to property, subjecting person by whom the property is held to equitable duties to deal with the property for the benefit of another person, which arises as the result of a manifestation of an intention to create it. Equitable means just, conformable to principles of justice and right. And duty means it's a legal obligation. So you have a trustee who is responsible for the administration of property for someone else's benefit. And the one that is the trustee has a legal obligation to adhere to the constraints of the contract. What is personal or real property? Property means ownership, the unrestricted and exclusive right to a thing, the right to dispose of a thing in every legal way, to possess it, to use it, and to exclude everyone else from interfering with it. Personal property is everything that is the subject of ownership, not coming under denomination of real estate. A right or interest in things personal, or any right or interest which one has in things movable. The term is generally applied to property of a personal or movable nature, as opposed to property of a local or immovable character, such as land or houses, the latter being called real property. So your personal property are things that belong to you that are movable, and that would include your rights, and real property would be things such as real estate, land, or houses. Trustee trust. The person for whose benefit a trust is created or who is to enjoy the income or the avails of it. Have you ever noticed in the State Bill or Declaration of Rights that they specify that government is instituted to benefit the people? Who benefits from these trusts? So here I have 3 examples from state preambles, which is basically the introduction to their constitution. And a preamble will state the purpose for their constitution. So the Virginia State Constitution, Article 1 preamble states, a declaration of rights made by the good people of Virginia and the exercise of their sovereign powers, which rights do pertain to them and their posterity as the basis and foundation of government. So notice they're stating that the foundation of government was created by the people through their sovereign powers. It pertained to them and their posterity. And the Arkansas State Constitution preamble states, we, the people of the state of Arkansas, grateful to Almighty God for the privilege of choosing our own form of government, for our civil and religious liberty, and desiring to perpetuate its blessings and secure the same to ourselves and posterity, do ordain and establish this Constitution. So notice it's the people that established the Constitution. Their desire was to perpetuate its blessings to themselves and their posterity. The Georgia State Constitution preamble says, to perpetuate the principles of free government, ensure justice to all, preserve peace, promote the interest and happiness of the citizen and of the family, and transmit to posterity the enjoyment of liberty, we, the people of Georgia, relying upon the protection and guidance of Almighty God, do ordain and establish this Constitution. So notice again, it is the people that want to perpetuate the principles of free government for all, the citizen, the family, and to their posterity. And posterity means descendants, children, or in a general sense, succeeding generations. State Constitution examples showing purpose of government. So here again are 3 examples for you. We could have a total of 50 if we wanted to. So the first one is Arkansas Constitution, Article 2, Section 1. All political power is inherent in the people. Inherent means it exists within them. They are born with it. And government is instituted for their protection of the people, security, and benefit. And they have the right to alter, reform, or abolish the same in such manner as they may think proper. Connecticut Constitution, Article 1, Section 2. All political power is inherent in the people, and all free governments are founded on their authority and instituted for their benefit, and they have at all times an undeniable and indefeasible right, that means it cannot be made void, to alter their form of government in such manner as they may think expedient. In the Iowa Constitution, Article 1, Section 2, all political power is inherent in the people. Government is instituted for the protection, security, and benefit of the people, and they have the right at all times to alter or reform the same whenever the public good may require it. So here you have 3 examples showing that government is instituted for the benefit of the people. The trusts are set up to benefit the people. And the reason I have 3 on here, and you'll notice I do this often, I'll have 2 or 3 examples, is because in the Bible, under 2 Corinthians chapter 13, verse 1, it states, "In the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses shall every word be established." So there are 50 state constitutions and 1 federal constitution, and I have given you 3 examples to show that this has been established. Examples of state constitutions declaring the role of public officers. Georgia Constitution, Article 1, Section 2, Paragraph 1. All government, doesn't say some government or only certain state governments. All government of right originates with the people, is founded upon their will only. So it started with the people, it's founded on the people's will, not the legislator's will, and is instituted solely for the good of the whole. Public officers are the trustees and servants of the people and are at all times amenable to them. It doesn't say just sometimes or only when they're in session. It says all times. Virginia Constitution, Article 1, Bill of Rights, Section 2. That all power is vested in and consequently derived from the people. That magistrates are their trustees and servants and at all times amenable to them. So it says all power is vested in and is derived, that means it came from the people, and that the magistrates, and magistrate means a public civil officer invested with executive government or some branch of it, are the trustees of the people, and amenable means accountable to. Vermont Constitution, Chapter 1, Article 6, that all power being originally inherent in and consequently derived from the people, therefore all officers of government, whether legislative or executive, are their trustees and servants, and at all times, in a legal way, accountable to them. Evidence from the Federalist Paper, number 46. So the Federalist Papers were papers written to promote the federal Constitution. And this one particular was written by James Madison, January 29th in 1788. And this was taken from the first paragraph of this paper. The federal and state governments are, in fact, but different agents and trustees of the people, constituted with different powers and designed for different purposes. The adversaries of the Constitution seem to have lost sight of the people altogether in their reasonings on this subject, and to have viewed these different establishments not only as mutual rivals and enemies, but as uncontrolled by any common superior in their efforts to usurp the authorities of each other. These gentlemen must here be reminded of their error. They must be told that the ultimate authority, wherever the derivative may be found, resides in the people alone, and that it will not depend merely on the comparative ambition or address of the different governments, whether either or which of them will be able to enlarge its sphere of jurisdiction at the expense of the other. So here he is reiterating that both the federal and state governments are different agents and they are both trustees of the people. And he's also reiterating that the ultimate authority resides in the people. It doesn't reside in the state legislature or the state governments, the executive branches. No, it resides in the people alone. What is a trustee? A trustee is the person appointed or required by law to execute a trust, one in whom an estate, interest, or power is vested under an express or implied agreement to administer or exercise it for the benefit or to the use of another, called the cestui trust. The constitutions are expressed agreements bound by oaths or affirmations. Henry Clay said, "Government is a trust, and the officers of the government are trustees, and both the trust and the trustees are created for the benefit of the people." Summation. The constitutions are trust agreements which restrict government officials, not the people. Government officials are our trustees, which means they are responsible and required by law to execute or to administer our expressed agreements as written, the state and federal constitutions. The trust agreements were established to benefit the people. Therefore, we are the beneficiaries. All ultimate authority resides in the people alone, thereby also making us the trust protectors. It is our responsibility to ensure the trustees perform their duties as expressly written in the constitutions for the benefit of the people and all future generations. I would like to leave you with this from the Bible in the book of Galatians, chapter 5, verse 1. "Stand fast, therefore, in the liberty wherewith Christ hath made us free, and be not entangled again with the yoke of bondage." Thank you for listening, and I ask that you share this with others. Thank you.